This is the weekly Grifball Hubcast, only on GrifballHub.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Grifball Hubcast, episode 305, Post-RTX-austin edition, as I like to call it.
I know.
We made it. We did another one, Kal.
Oh man,
It's
this
our
is
fourth one in the books.
our fourth RTX we exhibited at. Fifth one we've been to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of RTXs.
It is. It's an expansive amount of RTX. But we did it. We made it. It's over. It's over.
Have we passed the post-RTX buffer period where we can start talking about RTX 2017?
That happened before RTX 2016 even started, due to some people. So.
I know.
But
Goose has a rule that you're not allowed to talk about the next year's RTX till the previous year's RTX is actually over.
I mean, RT busted that because they had posters for next RTX already up there.
That's right. Next RTX is going to be also the weekend right after July 4th, right?
7th through 9th.
Yeah. So July 4th is like on a Tuesday next year, so RTX is will be the weekend after that.
Yes. That is what it seems like.
Plan accordingly.
Or take a minute and
take a minute and recover from this last year's adventure.
But yeah, so went to RTX last week. It feels like forever ago. Most importantly for the people listening, if you were a backer, your swag was shipped, and a lot of people have already received it.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that. If you were one of our super backers, you are owed a poster, and there was some shipping brouhaha, and those will be shipping out next week.
Well, we didn't want to ship the bigger posters with the swag bags themselves.
That was the shipping issue.
Because it would damage the poster. So we're putting the posters in special poster tubes all by themselves. They're going to be shipped all by themselves so that they won't get damaged at all.
Right.
By shipping with the bag. Because the bag itself, I mean, especially for the people who gave $117 or more, those bags are pretty well stuffed with stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff, especially if you got a jersey in addition to a t-shirt, plus the, bag, plus the shot glasses, plus the water dealie.
The water bottle.
The water bottle.
Cardskins Griff, the playing cards.
Yeah.
The box art. So yeah, everything was very, very full. So those will be going out. So they're still coming.
Yep. So the posters will be coming in a few days after your swag bags arrive.
What's also exciting is that we have a lot of posters left over. So when it comes to like Wednesday night Grifball prizes, we'll have we've got box art left over. We even have lanyards. We've got a lot of stuff, which is odd. I guess we just ordered more stuff than we did last year because
it was one of the perks of having more money to play with this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for example, the posters, I mean, we normally got 18 by 11 inch posters. So they were normally small posters. But this year, because we had more funding, we were able to order full size 18 by 24 inch posters, which is pretty awesome. And also, buying in bulk is really a good deal.
Yeah.
Like, it costs practically the same amount of money to order 100 posters as it is to order 500 posters.
I remember Kal asking me, Goosey, how many stickers should we order? And I'm like, I don't know. What did we do last year? Oh, I think we got 1,000. Okay. Well, 3,000 is only a penny more. Can we order 3,000? Okay. It's kind of hard to say no to that.
Yeah. That's the way it is. That's the way it's going. But the posters, I think we ended up ordering 500 of them because it was practically the same cost as ordering 100 of them. There wasn't. I mean,
once, like $1 difference.
Yeah, once the printer starts printing once they have your color palette, once they start printing your setup and have the graphics all set, it's not much of a more cost apparently for them to just print 400 more. So we have a lot of posters to give away.
That's specific to paper products. T-shirts do not work that way.
Yes, T-shirts do not work that way. Just paper products like the stickers and the box art. And this is why we get 1,000 box art every year, because
it's the same as 500.
It's the same. Yeah, it's like 250.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal.
So as much as fun as that financial talk was, just as a reminder, it's on the way. Patience, if you can. We should have tracking numbers for all of them.
So if anyone doesn't show up, just let us. If you don't get your swag bag
by Friday
in the mail by next Friday, just ping us and let us know, and we can look up the tracking number and see where it's at. And if something really does get lost in the mail, which happened a couple times this year for some other stuff we shipped out.
Yeah.
If something gets lost in the mail and you don't receive what you're entitled to, let us know and we'll make it right.
Yeah, 4.0 said that he won a T-shirt and never got it, and that was like 5 months ago. So we shipped it and got there yesterday. So yeah, if it doesn't get there, let us know. We have tracking numbers. We have means. We have a special set of skills.
Yeah, and sometimes you ship something USPS, the Postal Service, and sometimes it just gets lost somewhere.
Sometimes it just doesn't get there.
Yeah, it's in transit and a label falls off and they don't know what to do with it after that. So.
Or I'm really sorry for the people whose labels were addressed by Kal by hand. Most of them
none were addressed by me by hand, I don't think.
Oh, good, because that's...
Wait, I think Rally's was, but Rally got his stuff.
Oh, that's a miracle. But thank you to Allie for handwriting all of those labels. So
yes.
Enjoy her penmanship.
Yes. But before we dive too deep into RTX, just a couple league things to update.
We actually have league things to talk about.
We do. It's exciting.
Really,
Grifball is back. We have leagues. It's super exciting. GGL Championship was played on Tuesday night.
It was.
That was awesome. Our interns took over and were able to do the stream because most of us were still in Austin.
Thank you, interns. You're amazing, wonderful, magical snowflakes.
Yeah, so Crowbar and Oogie and Christy and they ran an awesome stream and everything was fabulous for the GGL Championship. And Outrageous Kill, not really a big surprise that they won another GGL ship, but congratulations to them.
Another one, like, I think they're running out of room on their trophy wall.
Yeah, they've got a lot of trophies. So ARC won the GGL ship this year for GGL Spring League 2013. The next GGL season will be starting once the current AGLA regular season is wrapping up.
Yes.
So in about 5 to 6 weeks. So late August, I would pin for the next GGL season to start. Then the AGLA Pro Games began this week.
Wait, have Wednesday. You found someone to run the GGL yet?
No.
Because late August, you might be a little busy.
That's true. Late August, I might be preoccupied with something else. So the AGLA Pro Games began this week on Wednesday night Grifball.
Yeah. Again, our interns, since we were all in transit, stepped up and casted that. So a huge thank you to our interns who are working their butts off and making our lives so much better and helping the Grifball community in the process.
Yep. And the AMI bidding began on Thursday evening, I believe, Wednesday evening. So AMI bidding is underway, and that ends on Sunday. I got bid on in like the first 5 minutes.
Taco.
Actually, I think it might be already be won. I should check the bidding page. But
10 credits?
10 credits.
Ooh.
So it's probably Taco who bid on me, put me on his team, which is nice. So
I
don't have to go through the
asked him
draft.
to. You literally begged him to. You're like, Taco, please bid on me.
I don't remember it that way.
I do.
I remember it the other way. Taco asking me, "Can I bid on you, please? Can I put you on my team?" So that's how I remember it.
For 10 credits?
Yeah, for 10 credits. That's how I remember. So AMI bidding ends on Sunday. Then they're going to have a reschedule period where the captains can talk to each other and reschedule any games they want. And then we'll be rolling into the AMI regular season after that. So RTX kind of was like a bit of an intermission, especially for AMI folks who signed up in June. And then they're just now getting to bidding and then games.
Yeah.
But it's kind of unavoidable because so many folks were at RTX.
Yeah, there's nothing... I mean, we could barely keep ourselves together. There was...
Like, I can think of at least 3 AMI captains who were physically at RTX themselves working at the booth.
Yeah.
And then, not to mention, one of our AGLA admins was there. Rage was at RTX as well, eventually.
Poor Rage.
Poor Rage.
It's so sad.
Yeah, his flight was delayed, and so he missed a connecting flight.
First of all, he was going to come in on, like, Wednesday or Thursday. But then he got a new job, and so he was scheduled to come in. He could leave Friday night and arrive at, like, 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. But he missed his connecting flight by about, like, 20 minutes. They wouldn't hold the plane, so he actually didn't end up getting in until Sunday. And then he left on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
I felt so terrible.
So he got in just in time to lose the championship game.
Ouch. Okay. That's where that... Ow. That... Wow, Kal. Yep. That's still tender.
Yeah, Rage, he jumped from natural selection to Boom Goes the Dynamite. Boom Goes the Dynamite being this year's iteration of Easy as Pie. And they lost the championship game to the team that Rage had left. They lost the RTX championship game natural selection.
Wow.
Yeah.
It still burns.
It sucks for Rage. I'm sorry. But at least he got one day at RTX. One day to enjoy Grifball goodness and everything else around there.
Wow.
And one day he didn't have to deal with AGLA stuff, so first half.
Except that we were still asking him, Rage, what does
this person has a question about AGLA. Can you answer him, please?
Yeah, we had a couple attendees come up and ask about joining and how to get in, and can we still get into the bid pool and things like that. So we're like, there's Rage. Go
talk to him.
Go talk to him.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yep. AMI bidding ends on Sunday. AMI games will end after that, and then games through August for the AGLA.
Very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. So yeah, that's about it for the Grifball leagues right now. But RTX was a thing, and it happened.
It did. My feet can verify that it happened.
So we got into Austin. We flew in on Wednesday, right?
Oh my god, that was a enjoyable experience.
Flying while 8 months pregnant.
Yeah, that was good, especially since I had to fly in from New York as opposed to DC. Yeah, we got in. Kal, Taco, and I. Well, you found Taco at the airport. You
Yes.
just randomly ran
I
into
ran into
Taco.
him in Atlanta.
Atlanta airport. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just exiting my plane from DC to Atlanta, and then all of a sudden I hear, Cal, over here.
Aww.
I looked around and was like, okay, someone's got to be calling me. I think he's talking to me. And I found Taco.
So then we all arrived at the same time. I learned that neither Kal nor Taco can airport very well.
We can airport just fine. What do you mean we couldn't airport well? What did we do?
I asked you what terminal or what baggage claim number, and you both just shrugged.
I don't know. Austin Airport's not that big.
Anyway, we caught the bus into Austin, and then Kal proceeded to scare the living daylights out of the poor cleaning lady who was still in Griff House.
Oh, yeah, we got a little early to Griff House, and so I knocked, opened the door, said hello, and still spooked the people who were cleaning the place.
Well, we have a quick question here. When are the divisions and schedules being put up?
I believe Rage has them available, like, on a Google Doc right now, but sometime in the next few days we'll get them up on the website.
Yeah, on the front page. Our interns, who are awesome, are learning the back end, and so hopefully they'll be able to put it up. If not, I can definitely do it.
Yeah, so that'll be done soon.
Because I'm on maternity leave and not doing nothing right now.
So yeah, we Wednesday. Do you have another Pokemon?
I do. It's just a Rattata. Go ahead.
Okay. So Wednesday we went to Magikarp's house. Magikarp, who we ship all of the stuff to Magikarp as like our headquarters in Austin. Griff Warehouse.
Yep.
So we picked up all the stuff. So like all the box art and the posters and the banners and all the T-shirts and all the stuff. All the stuff we got. All the stuff gets shipped to him. So we picked that all up on Wednesday. Moved it to Griff House for safekeeping for RTX, because Griff House is just across the street from the Austin Convention Center. So it makes it easier just to store everything there and just literally walk it across the street to get there. And then, let's see, Wednesday, other folks arrived. We had a pleasant evening in Griff House, stuffing swag bags.
Pleasant evening in Griff House.
Yes. So we stuff all the swag bags on Wednesday night. So before we start giving away swag or all that, we know that our Kickstarter backers have all of their swag they're entitled to set aside and safe. So we've got all the swag bags stuffed. And then some folks pick it up at RTX if you go to RTX. If not, we ship it out to you the days after RTX. This year was on Tuesday. And on Thursday, we went and rented a bunch of stuff and set up the booth.
Yeah. So one of the fun things is using Zipcar. And we had to go rent these 8-foot-long tables, and the bed of the pickup truck that we could rent was only about 4 feet. So I got to drive through Austin with half of these tables sticking out of the back end, no bungee cords. It was not an enjoyable experience.
They didn't fall out. No one died.
That is, I can confirm,
not a single
no one
proven
died.
fatality.
No one died.
So you got that going for you.
Yeah, Zipcar, awesome.
Yep. We went to a few other places in town. The stage setup. We got that set up. We rented the stage for the booth. Got that all set up. Went to Rock and Roll Rentals to do our sound and light systems.
All the shiny things that Sonic worked really, really hard for.
Yeah, all that stuff. We rented the tables and chairs. So we actually had a seating area for our booth.
Yeah.
So people could come in and sit down and watch the Grifball being played. Watch the Grifball action.
That was the only constructive criticism that we had from last year was, dear God, please give us chairs.
Yes.
And this year, we gave you chair. You asked, and we delivered.
Yes, not only all the players, all 16 consoles had chairs for players to sit down while they played, but also we had about a dozen or so extra chairs that were in a seating area so that folks, mostly Grifballers who were on deck waiting to play, or sometimes it was just audience members. They were just sitting in those chairs, or they were ringed around the booth just standing and watching the Grifball being played.
Yep.
So in the future, if we had a bigger booth, we would expanding our seating area is probably one thing we would focus on at first.
Apparently Siri liked that comment.
Apparently. So Thursday, we actually got finished setting up the booth by 8 o'clock, which was earlier.
Which is epic. I mean, normally 8 p.m. is amazing. Usually we're going to like 1 a.m. the following day. So
yeah. Although what I find really funny too is that it normally takes longer to set up the Xboxes than it did this year. Like I remember Taco being there till like 1 a.m. setting up Xboxes and stuff. And this year, despite everything that happened, despite the update that came out on Wednesday, right? There was an update on Wednesday that all the Xboxes had to download because no Xboxes had the Halo 5 update that came out.
Right.
We had some people who were on like preview program versus not preview program. Some controllers need to be updated. Like there's a bunch. It had to put all the gamer tags on the consoles because Taco has 16 GrifballHub gamer tags set up.
Yep.
They all have like they're all friends with who they did, like with Knockyard and Taco and Grifball maps, and they've got all the maps they need, and they're friends with each other and all that. So Taco had to load the gamer tags on the Xboxes, get the maps all set, but all of that took less time than I feel it did back when we were on the Xbox 360.
I don't know why, and especially considering, well, I mean, we had to update the Xboxes, which was...
That took a little finagling.
It was a long time.
Yeah, the internet on the show floor was not super conducive to updating 16 Xboxes at once. So there were some, take this to somebody's house kind of thing to get the Xboxes updated.
Okay, let's just be honest. Every RTX ends up with some kind of jerry-rigging and
There
some kind of MacGyvering, and this was no different.
There has to be.
There was just a little less gum and duct tape. Still there, still very important, but not quite as much.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is that Taco had a lot of prep work. Well, one, this is the 4th year he's done this at RTX, setting up all the maps and game types and Xboxes and all that. But also he's got a lot more prep work that went into this year, just by virtue of having this experience, like having all 16 gamer tags all set and having copies of Halo 5 ready, and all this was in the maps all set. Like that helped quite a bit. So yeah, we got finished at 8 o'clock. We actually could go to dinner on Thursday night.
We got to eat.
It's amazing.
Went to Stubbs,
of course.
Barbecue.
Yep.
If you're in Austin, go to Stubbs. It's very good.
The Stream Me folks had a video camera set up at the booth to do like a time lapse of it being set up.
Yes.
So hopefully that'll be coming out soon. We'll get to take a look at that. That'll be pretty interesting.
It was a lot of time. A lot
of time will need to be lapsed.
Yes, because it's amazing. Setting up the booth is just one of those things where you work and you work and you work and you feel like nothing changes, and then all of a sudden, almost like it's something, or all of a sudden there's it's an actual thing.
It's really interesting when you leave for a little bit. Like I think I ran and did an errand, picked up something, go rent something or whatnot. Oh, renting the chairs, right? Mur and I drove out to rent all the chairs, and we left. And when we came back, it was like, wow, this actually looks like a booth. We left it was like just a pit on the show floor. We come back and there's the actual tables and structure, and it looks the stage and it's done and it looks like a booth.
So a fun story about the chairs, or rather the place that you guys rented the chairs from. So when we went to go pick up the tables, which was from the same place, we had to take 2 different trips. I didn't know where it was. And I think I had Mur with me, and I missed the turn. So I just said, well, I'll take the next turn. Apparently that was one of the Austin State Federal Prison. So
fun.
We turned into the prison.
Hi, can we get tables from you guys?
I just turned around, but I definitely almost took Mur to prison. No, Magikarp? Who was Magikarp?
I think it was Mur.
Mur or Magikarp, maybe both. I don't remember.
You almost took them both to prison.
It was really hot.
Yeah.
And so yeah, just so you know, if anybody ever needs to go to the
make sure you go to Star of Texas Rentals, not the Texas State Prison.
Yes, very different places.
A little different. Yeah, a little different places. So one thing that was really cool at this booth, something new we did, was put the stage up. Like we had twice as much space in our booth as we had last year. So instead of 400 square feet, it was 800 square feet, and we used that extra space to erect this giant stage, which was really, really cool.
Yes, I think one of the coolest things was having faith rewarded, mostly because, talking about the stage, a huge shout out to Sonic. I don't think we can sing his praises enough, because he planned it all. He did all the research. He did all the pricing. He took care of everything in terms of prepping for the stage and, organizing and putting it together. And then, of course, DJ.
I mean, he came up with things I wouldn't even think, like all the lighting and audio stuff that we had to rent. Like, I never even thought of putting extra lighting up there. I wouldn't even thought of like the projector screen so people in the audience can see all the gameplay. So
just to show my noob level, I was really confused because I got there and then there's, stuff being projected on the screen, but I didn't see a projector. I'm used to, I guess, the old school projectors that are outside and project forward, as opposed to the ones that we had, which were behind the screen. Like, wow, that's really cool. And then there were like red lights and blue light. It was amazing. And up until the point that it was put up, we really had no idea what it would look like.
We had a spreadsheet and a diagram, and we're like,
Yes.
okay, this spreadsheet and diagram will lead us to something cool. This will look awesome when it's done.
Yep. So Sonic just knocked it out of the park. It was fantastic. And it definitely got us a lot of attention.
It looked really, really. I mean, I don't really think to say that.
It looked professional.
Yeah, it looked
not like the piece of crap that we were expecting, but it looked professional. Is that what you're saying, Ken?
It looked like it fit in with all the other RTX booths. That's a
good way of putting it. Yeah.
Like you walk around the show floor and you see like a Geico booth or 343 Industries or Twitch booth or something. And
343 didn't have a stage.
Our stage up there would have fit right in with all of those. Like it looked really, really nice. Especially because we had like the commentator table between the two teams.
Yes.
And so you look up on stage and you see DJ and Receptor or Oogie or Goose or whomever up there hosting the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the red team on one side. So it's got, all the red stuff. So you got the light above them. You got the light in front of them. You've got, all their cords on their Xboxes are reds. This is the red team. And the blue team's got the same thing on the other side. This is the blue team. Mm-hmm. And then in the middle, you got the commentators calling the play-by-play. And with the camera work, like we had 3 different cameras set up. And what was going out on stream was also on the projector, so it was on the screen behind them. So you saw like the picture-in-picture with the commentators down here and the action and the scoreboard, and like it looked really, really cool.
Yeah, and then of course behind the scenes you had Sonic, and huge shout out to Crowbar who really picked up the mantle in terms of
Evan,
yeah, Evan, go Evan. Not one of our interns, but wow, we should.
He just kind of fell from the sky. It was like, hey guys, you want me to run all your audio stuff for you?
He was like a guardian angel.
Yeah.
And of course, Taco, who did poor thing on Friday, all the controller disconnects that I think
he wanted us to remind everybody that he hated that.
He nearly went nuclear.
Yes.
That day.
Yes, he did.
And then there was Kal, who ruined everything.
What do you mean I ruined everything?
You were the only person to ruin a game.
Okay, so on Sunday for the championship game, we had Bravo step in.
Yes.
Yeah, Bravo was kind enough to come and commentate a game with DJ for the championship match. So Bravo was up there. They were doing their spiel. It was a long game. The game 2 is a long game in that series. So Bravo said, "Hey, can we look at the scoreboard?" Sure, let's look at the scoreboard. And so Bravo started reading off the stats. It was like, "Oh yeah, Gingy's got this many kills. Killer says this many kills, whatever." And so I walked over to Evan. Evan was doing the camera work at the time for the broadcast because we were technically in machinima mode, which is just like spectator mode. So machinima mode, he was flying the camera around to follow all the players and all that live. So I said, hey, just hit the back button and it'll show the stats up on the screen so everybody at home can see the stats. So Evan pushed the back button, held it down. You could see all the stats up there and then let go. And then he started flying again. And then all of a sudden up on stage, it's like, oh, we've got an extra player on the field.
Yeah, Boss is raising his hand going, wait a minute.
There's too many.
Wait a minute.
There's too many. So it turns out that when you're in machinima mode and then you hit the back button, it flips you back from control of your camera to control of the player, of your original body. So although the point of view does not shift back to the body, you gain control of the body anyway. So Evan was flying around, and he was also walking his guy forward, and he went from the ledge from where he was and dropped down onto the court.
I like how you have systematically blamed this on Evan and Bravo and
Yes.
completely abdicated any responsibility to yourself.
Like, I had no idea hitting the back button. I mean, it doesn't even like switch the camera. It just switches who you're controlling. I mean, I guess, point A on the list of reasons why machinima mode was not meant to be for camera and for streaming, but literally for machinima.
I thought you meant to say point number 1 on why Kal should not be allowed near anything Forge related ever.
That's also true.
On the upside, Bravo did have to go because it was a long game, and he just made the most amazing disappearing act where he stood up from his chair and then just jumped off the edge of the stage, like to stage right, and he just jumped and he was gone.
It's like secret agent jumping off the top of a building.
That's pretty much exactly what he did. Just gone.
Yep, like Batman flying away.
Yep. So apparently everybody knew but you. Even Evan knew, but because Kal said to do it, he did it. And so lesson learned.
I had no idea.
Don't listen to Kal.
Don't listen to me. That's an important lesson to take away from RTX. So the tournament went pretty well.
Yeah.
We had, on Friday, we did something new where we had our attendee teams that signed up at RTX going to round robin. so that they actually had some games to play up on the main stage before
against other attendee teams.
Yeah, against other attendee teams before they get 9-0'd by our guys.
Which happened
A lot. But they got to play each other. So Friday was just attendee teams up there playing in a round robin, which is pretty neat. They have to play up there multiple times. Joe Pro had a team. It was him plus 3 attendees that played together. There was Team Caboose.
Which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, BG had a team with 3 attendees, one of which was dressed as Yang the whole weekend, which was pretty fun. So we had all that stuff going on up on the main stage on Friday. And then Saturday, we had our league teams that pre-registered at GrifballHub. They got moved on to the main stage and got put into the tournament.
And destroyed
Everybody they came across. Yeah. We had Green Ray Jr. and Zero Logic play each other for like the 4th year in a row.
Yeah.
Seems like every year they face off against each other. And then by Sunday, we were down to our last 8 teams, then our last 4, then our championship match. So Sunday ended with Boom Goes the Dynamite versus Natural Selection, and Natural Selection winning in 2 games, 2 games to 0.
But that was the championship game is, of course, the one that Kal messed up. And so now there's Calmageddon version 3, the Kaluminati. I think it's probably one of my favorites.
Couldn't let Rage win.
Because Boom Go the Dynamite was on the upswing. It was like the power outage at that Super Bowl one year.
Yep.
They were definitely on the upswing, and then all of a sudden there's this power outage. Get it?
Yes, I do.
Grifball
Power outage one.
Grifball reference, old school. Anyway, so yeah, the Kaluminati, Calmageddon version 3.
Yep.
So good job. Way to crush Rage.
Yes, I crushed him.
And his team.
And all his hopes and dreams.
You might not ever win a ship, Kal, but you certainly know how to deny ships to
Boom
teams.
Goes the Dynamite's about to win. All right.
What's the most innocent thing I could do?
Trying to pause the game. Let's get this all set up again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So also at RTX on Friday, you had a session, right?
I had a panel. Session sounds like I went and talked to somebody about my feelings.
I don't know if it counts as a panel if there's only one person there.
A presentation?
You had a presentation?
A lecture?
A lecture? What were you talking about?
I was talking about video games and mental health. What a surprise.
Surprise. What were the details?
So it was based on some research I did looking into the way that mental health is represented in video games.
Okay.
And how that representation reflects societal understanding and norms about mental health.
So this is a lot like the one you did at PAX East?
The exact same slides.
Same slides you did in PAX East?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you went to PAX East, you got a very similar experience.
Did you also get swamped after your presentation of people wanting to talk to you?
I did. My presentation ended at 1:30, and I didn't get back to the booth until 2:30, and that's because I said I had to go. So it was, but I mean, obviously it was great. Some really great questions, and a little bit different than, I guess, other presentations I've done because the audience was actively involved and asked questions throughout the presentation, as opposed to me talking and then having questions. So that made things a little bit difficult because I wasn't used, my timing was off and I got like the 5-minute warning and I hadn't even gotten to the results section yet. So definitely had to switch up my pace a little bit. But yeah, it was good. Definitely tough being Friday, 30 minutes after the con opens. Because one, that means I have to leave the booth, which I didn't like at all. Because if there's a point where you need support, it's right when RTX opens. And then, of course, it was probably the smallest panel I've ever had. I mean, short of like doing professional stuff when there's only like 10 clinicians. But I mean, there was probably still 100 to 200 people. But
that's a lot of people.
But I mean, last year they put me in a room with 350 and they had to turn people away. But a lot of it is just, people couldn't even get into the con.
Yeah.
So
first thing Friday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, we also had our Grifball panel.
Yeah, which was, I think, probably the best Grifball panel we've ever done.
It was pretty cool. The audience had some really great questions. No, sadly, there was no Taco Pizza Hunter there to ask the troll questions.
Nobody asked, how do I Grifball? Which made me incredible. That's probably what made it my favorite ever. Yeah. Yep.
No one asked, what's Halo 6 Grifball like?
No one asked that. Nope.
That's nice. So yeah, the Grifball panel went really well. Me, Goose, and Taco. Just chatting about Grifball. We showed off the new highlight reel, which had highlights from our donors. We also had a bunch of swag we gave away, like posters and cards and T-shirts and stuff. So we gave that stuff away at the panel. Basically, if you asked a good question, which was all the questions, if you asked a question, you got some free swag up there. Some people were a little confused about swag to take.
Yeah.
Surprisingly so. Like, I thought it was very clear. Like, ask a question, come up and grab something. But The people are like, can I take the shot glasses and the playing cards?
Okay, well, first of all, the person I think you're referring to in particular is somebody that I would probably see in a clinical setting. So let's not be mean or pick on someone who needs a little extra support.
Okay.
You're a terrible person. First you pick on this poor person.
I'm not picking on anybody.
And then you deny Regis-ship.
I'm not picking at anybody.
Yeah, you just...
I'm not.
2 for... Wow, Kal.
Our panel was live streamed on Twitch. We probably should check and see if maybe we can download that video and get that up on YouTube. Just a video of the panel itself.
Right.
Our panel went really well. Showed off the highlight reel, answered some really good questions. What was your...
Apparently Goobers 515 says hi. So hello, Goobers 515.
Hi Goobers 515.
He didn't say hi to you.
Oh,
He
sorry.
said me.
I'll say hi to Gomer then. Hi Gomer.
What?
Gomer? Goober?
I have no idea.
For the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not 50.
Gomer was Gomer Pyle, Jim Neighbor's character. He also did his own
Okay,
spin-off
stop.
of USMC.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the question you were going to ask?
Goober was his cousin.
They
ran the mechanic shop.
What were you going to ask? There's a question before that.
Any favorite questions from the Grifball panel?
I can't remember any of them.
Oh, I remember, would Sheila or Freckles win?
Oh, that was so
at
good.
Grifball? And I was like, Goose and I looked at each other and we both asked at the same time, who is Freckles?
No, that was an inside thought.
Oh, okay.
That was definitely an inside thought.
I heard you. I heard your thought.
We looked at each other and we're like, oh. Thankfully, Taco knew who.
Yeah, Taco knew who Freckles was.
It was a definite moment where, I looked at you, you looked at me, we're like, and so I just said Sheila.
Yeah, Sheila's a tank.
I knew who Sheila was.
He was like, Sheila's a tank, and God, I hope Freckles isn't also a tank.
But we learned that apparently Freckles is a mech.
Yeah,
I don't think
Mantis.
I don't think they were any the wiser. I think we pulled it off.
You think so?
Until now.
Okay.
When it's revealed.
Yeah, Gis and I haven't watched Red vs. Blue since like season 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Rainbow Dash, I actually have the soul of like a 70-year-old man.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah.
Trapped in the body of a 29-year-old.
Yeah. Actually, I think Ron Howard's the only one in that show still alive. Wait, Jim Neighbors is Jim Neighbors dead? I don't know.
I don't know. Sweetie, stop.
Jim Neighbors had to be like 95, but he was dead. Or he was alive.
But yeah, it was a really great panel. And had some really great questions. Some guy named Old Ham asked, what does it take to play in the Grifball leagues?
Wow, Jim Neighbors is still alive.
That was not the question he asked.
He is 86 years old.
Sweetie, nobody knows who that is.
Wow. Okay. I had no idea.
I have no idea who it is either. So anyway.
Ugh.
So the Grifball panel went great. Gave away a lot of free stuff. And that was Saturday. And then, as we mentioned, Sunday was the championship and breakdown, which is always... It always amazes me. Setup takes 8, 9, 10 hours. Breakdown takes 3, 4.
Less than that. Maybe like 90 minutes.
It was more than that.
No, we were done at like 8:30. Oh, right. And then con closed at 6. So 2.5 hours.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. And one thing that...
It's really depressing, actually.
And one thing that threw a wrench into everything was the 4th of July was on Monday. So places were closed.
Did you say the independence of our nation was a wrench in our plans?
It was also a wrench in King George's plans.
Receptor called it Happy Trader Day.
It was a freedom wrench.
A freedom? Okay. Or the red, white, and blue wrench.
Yes. So the 4th of July meant that the post office was closed on Monday. Normally we ship out everything on the day after RTX, but we couldn't do that. The rental places where we rented the tables and chairs and equipment, like all that was closed. So Griff House had a lot of stuff in it for a whole day. Like all of 4th of July, we had these 4 8-foot tables. We had 30 chairs. We could have had
a really awesome barbecue if we had food.
Yeah, we had all these lights and equipment and stuff just stacked up at Griff House everywhere. We had all the swag bags that still had to be shipped out. And we had all this stuff just taking up space in Griff House all day.
Yep.
And that means we had to haul it from the convention center up to Griff House because Griff House is on the 3rd floor.
2 flights of stairs.
2 flights of stairs. It's like all these big speakers and lights and all this stuff had to be hauled up 2 flights of stairs and then returned on Tuesday. We also went to the post office on Tuesday and shipped everything out.
Yep.
Yep.
That's about how it went.
So that was RTX. It was it's really amazing all the different pieces of it. Like we had and all the different like roles that everybody played at RTX. It was so nice when someone would ask me a question about the stream and I'd be like, I have no idea, ask Sonic. Or somebody asked me
That was
something.
my favorite part. People kept asking me questions, and I just kept pointing people to talk to other people. The only question I had to answer was, who should I talk to? And I would point, and that was
Yeah, it made it really nice. Or like the Xboxes. Is like, if you have a question, anything about the Xboxes or anything like that, talk to Taco.
Yep.
Like, don't even touch the Xboxes.
Oh, that was... I mean, Taco even got me. I put a poster down on top of an Xbox. Goose, can you not put that there? Quickly remove and hide. So yeah, if it was Xboxes, it was Taco. If it was the sound system, it was probably DJ or Sonic. If it was a stage, it was DJ or Sonic. If it had anything to do with swagger merchandise, go talk to Allie.
Yeah.
Like, it was wonderful to just disseminate. And you are the bosses of your own location,
Your
and
domain.
your domain, and you rule with an iron fist. And yeah, because that left us free to just kind of
Supervise.
which sounds terrible, but when people come over and start asking questions about the site itself, it's good for us to not be, because there was one point you were missing, I was up on stage commentating, and someone came over and had a question about the hub, and there was like, well, I don't know where Kal is, and Goose is up there, so can you come back later?
Yeah.
So yeah, not my department, Oogie.
Yep.
That is not in my wheelhouse, not my contract, above my pay grade. Definitely above my pay grade in terms of anything that had to do with tech.
Yep. Yeah, Rainbow Dash, all the bags have tape on them. Yes, they did, because we had to label them all, because like people had T-shirts and stuff like that in their swag bags. And so we had to make sure everyone got the exact swag bag they were meant to get.
Yeah, we didn't want to take the tape off and because especially when we go through and do the double checks and make sure that everybody got what they were supposed to get. And it's not duct tape; it's masking tape.
Yeah,
big difference, because duct tape could harm the bag. Masking tape will not.
Yep.
It's important.
Yep.
It's important to me.
Yep. Also, shout out. Speaking of like labeling things, shout out again to Tim from Gamers Galaxy.
Yes.
In Austin. They gave us the Grifball hammer again this year.
Yep.
So we had a photo booth that we
Bacon
stole.
Our booth babe.
Bacon and Crowbar and borrowed a booth. They had a photo booth, so we had Griff cut out there. We had the gravity hammer. We had a Grifball and a sword. So we had all that set up. Tim also gave us 3 Xbox Ones to use up on stage.
Yep.
Which is a big help. 343 also gave us 8 Xboxes to use during RTX, which was pretty nice.
And then we had your Xbox, my Xbox, DJ's Xbox, Murnally's Xbox, Tacos. Did Magic Carps end up making it there?
I don't remember. Maybe.
We ended up with 19 Xbox Ones.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Which is what we needed too, because
when you think about
I mean the setup. We were talking about the setup for a few months before RTX. Getting everything set, make sure we have all the equipment we need. And I was originally skeptical because DJ was very insistent on we don't need 16 Xboxes, we need 19 Xboxes.
Yes.
Like, because I was thinking, okay, well, worst case scenario, we'll have 8 Xboxes up on stage. DJ and Receptor will look over the players' shoulders to see what's going on the screens, and they'll commentate doing that. And it will stream like a perspective of one of the players. Like, that'd be the worst case scenario. If we have another Xbox, maybe we can have that one and like machinima mode, and it can fly around and view things. But I don't really see why DJ and Receptor need Xboxes in that case. They can just look at the players' screens. That's what we did up on stage last year for the finals.
That's what we did in my day.
Yeah, we've done that before. It'll be okay. But when we had 19 Xboxes, that means we had 11 for just the stage setup. So we had the 8 for the players. We had 1 for the camera, for the free-flying camera. And then DJ and Receptor each had their own as well. And we used the special neutral host / streaming port where, players run forward, commentators, everybody else runs backwards and all that. And it worked so flawlessly. It was like so seamless. DJ and Receptor, because they were in the wall and they were viewing the court and actually on a team, they could see all the players' gamer tags and all the call signs for the players. So they knew who was where and who had the ball and who was passing to whom and who was hiding on the plant.
Assuming the players cooperated, because there was a point where everybody on one team just put their call sign as Bunny.
Yes, I think that was one of the attendee teams or something. It was,
which is fine, but there's only so much I can.
It worked really for like the league players and all that. They all, put their tags, put their call signs, what it was going to be, and it worked so well because they just knew everybody's call sign, knew everybody's gamer tag. It was like they were just recognizing the armor or something, but because they had their own Xbox, they had all this information they needed in front of them. Like they had the readout in the lower left about who killed whom and who's on a killing spree and all that. So it was remarkable. It worked remarkably well.
Yep. And again, everything just as it always tends to do, it comes together. And of course, shout out to the Guardians who, you know, make everything better and wonderful. So our guardian Crystal, who was our area guardian, Stash, who is always there for us, Dave, we got to see a couple times, Plaid Lad, who makes the world go round. Just all really awesome. And I mean, poor Allie started losing her voice. They brought her cough drops. There was one day we ran out of water. They brought us a case of water. They just cannot give enough love to the Guardians for taking care of us.
It was another cool thing we did at the booth was to play a pro.
Yes.
So basically, when we had time between games, because sometimes the games didn't last, we put like an hour for a game, and sometimes it only lasted 20 minutes. Or
especially when it was pro versus attendee team.
Yes.
That just wow.
Yeah, in those cases we had play a pro. So we call 4 of our pros being any of our 4 league players.
You got to play as a pro, and I got to play as a pro.
I don't think I got to play as a pro. I got to play on Bacon's team in the tournament.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
got to play as a
That's
pro.
when we scored, and I was like, we won posters. Because everybody gagged, because during Play a Pro, if you scored on a pro team, you got posters. Like everybody on that team got posters. If you beat the pro team, which has never happened, everybody gets a t-shirt. So we would fill in, like, put Play a Pro between these games, and so we could get more attendees up on the stage and get them the coolness of, having DJ and Receptor commentate their Play a Pro game, and get them to. And there were and I just don't understand this, but they were so eager to get beaten down by our pro players. Like, there are some people who just kept cycling through over and over again to go up on stage and get beaten by the pros.
Yep.
I don't understand that mentality, but
we do it every season.
Yeah.
We sign up for the GGL and we get beaten down by people who are better than us.
We occasionally score. Like, we get posters.
Oh, we gave away posters, still have not given away a t-shirt.
That's true. Yeah, so some pro teams got scored on. Some pro teams were better than others.
Well, especially at the very end when we had Play the Champs, because we'd had the championship game decided, and so people could play the champs, and wow, yeah. It was brutal, but a lot of attendees really, really liked it. So
yeah.
Okay. Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, and shout out too to our players who hopped up on stage and took on the horrible burden of having to 5-0 a bunch of Randy attendees. It's like matchmaking, but in real life.
Yeah, but there's stuff on the line too.
That's true.
So there's a little added pressure.
More than just pride. Although pride was a big part of it, because whenever they got scored down, I was like, I am very disappointed in you guys.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Yeah, maybe a little mad.
Well, we still have plenty of posters to give away.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Not a lot of posters were given away.
No. So good job, pros.
Yep. And also opposite the stage, or on the side of the booth, we had our 8 free play stations.
Yes.
So they're just all weekend long. We just free play. Folks just walk up, play, sit down, play 4v4 Grifball all weekend long. It worked really well too to have, like, up on stage is the tournament games and Play a Pro, and down here is just the free play stations, and that kind of separation between the two worked really well. As did just playing Halo 5 all weekend, not having to switch discs, not doing Halo 3 or Halo 4
beautiful.
Reach or anything. Just Halo 5 all weekends.
No disc switching. No one accidentally turning off an Xbox. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Although, just there was Cal and I got to play one game together on the free play side because I needed 2 more, and it was near the end of the con and things were emptying out, and so we sit down, and the 2 attendees who sat down next to Cal look at one another, and they overhear the other team, the red team. Apparently, there were 2 or 3 players on the red team who had never played before or really knew. Like, together, they might have had like 5
minutes of experience.
And so our 2 teammates start whispering, okay, they've never played before. Let's go to 4-0, and then we can just start messing with them. We can just start dicking around. Cal looks at me, tells me this is what they said. I look at him and go, oh, no. They don't know who they're playing with. So we made it a very fast and succinct.
We had like 5 pro runs or something off the tip off.
Also murdered our teammates plenty.
Maybe.
And then after the game, got up and talked to the newbies and tried to make sure that they felt okay. They had a blast. They loved it, but wanted to make sure. I'm like, okay, just so you guys know, it was a rough game, but it was a little unsighted. Like, oh yeah, we were at the Grifball panel. We know you guys are like experts. Well, let's not go that far. But just, to make sure, keep the good vibes going.
Yep.
And the other fun one I had was there needed another seat, and I was going to go sit down, and I looked, and who was to my left? I don't know, there was a pro Grifballer there.
Like Joe Pro, maybe?
It wasn't Joe Pro, but might have been Mango, I think. And I was like, oh, I should probably go on the other team. And one of the other team looks at me, what? You think you're too good for us?
And you were like, oh, it's on.
Oh, okay. So I sat down. So it was me and Mango, and then I think I grabbed Bacon and another pro Grifball player. We sat down, and so there's this kid who, mouthing off. They had Joe Pro and then two other randoms, and we crushed them. And I'm not going to lie, it felt really good.
I bet it did.
Like, I was trying to be nice, and I don't know. Maybe it was, I don't know. I'm not saying it was the pregnant belly that intimidated him, but it might have been. How dare the pregnant lady think that she can school me.
That she can video game.
How dad do I Grifball?
Well, one cool thing about the free PlayStations is that we had the RTX maps that Knockyard made.
Oh, yeah, the bouncy castle was there.
Yeah, so we had Dr. Leo's Bouncy Castle. The attendees got a kick out of that.
That made me nauseous.
Yeah. We had Vadim's Revenge, the Delta Halo map, and we also had As Below and So Above, so above, as Below.
As above, so below, whatever.
Yeah.
I got it wrong on the screen.
The sun in the sky, and also the water map. We had those maps.
Yes.
So it was pretty cool.
Got to play them all.
Yeah, so the attendees got these brand new RTX maps that practically nobody's played on, and
and something like Bouncy Castle, which will never be put into that one can't be put into matchmaking because of all the moving parts.
Really?
Literally all the moving parts. That's what Knockyard said when he revealed it.
Oh, that's sad.
So yeah, they got a chance to play on a map that will never go up into matchmaking.
Yeah, well, that was pretty cool. Especially when Dr. Leo was there running the Dr. Leo's Bouncy Castle.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, looked in the back of my jersey. That's my map.
I am the Dr. Leo.
I am the Dr. Leo. So, where do we go from here for RTX?
Sleep?
Well, we've had a week of sleep.
Speak for yourself.
Like, where do we see RTX 2017 going?
Oh, God.
It's okay. We can talk about it now.
Well, we had a really good debrief session with the Brain Trust and other people who helped make this RTX happen. And I think we all agreed that we don't need more stuff. We've got the merch, we've got the free play, we've got the stage, those three main parts. I wouldn't even know what to add, but it definitely felt like enough. We had 24 exhibitor badges. We gave some away to Stream.me and to Gamers Galaxy, but we still had like 15 to 17 people with exhibitor badges, and there were times when it didn't feel like there were enough of us. So I definitely feel like we've met the max of what we want and what we can handle in terms of stuff there to do. But I think we all did agree that more space would be better, because I know the stage was a little bit crowded, and I know DJ and Sonic would have loved to have more elbow room up there. So
maybe just growing the size of the booth, but not necessarily adding more things to the booth.
Yeah, I think if we were to think about growth, that would be the way to think about it. Is not adding more stuff, but just kind of polishing what there is. It's kind of like what we did last year. The year previous, we had the free PlayStations, and it was a little crowded. And then the next year, we just kind of made everything better. We didn't add anything new.
Yeah.
Whereas this year, we added a stage, and so I think that would be the way to go. Is just, and there was even a whole table. There was nothing on it, down by the merch section. So maybe either keeping the same space and adjusting how we lay it out, or asking for a different arrangement of booth spaces, because we had 800 square feet, but it was 2x4. What if it had been a different layout or something like that? Or if we had 9 and could do a 3x3, something like that. I think that would be interesting, but I don't see us adding stuff. Actually, I kind of hope that next time we have less stuff, because, for example, we had so much to sell. I feel like we sold a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that we didn't sell. Whereas last year we sold out of everything, and that made shipping back a lot easier.
Yes, it did. Just for full transparency and everything, we are considering not doing a Kickstarter next year, or rather, our goal going into planning for next year and all that would be not to do a Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
so that we can perhaps get the money we need through sponsorships or through other avenues, so that we don't have to have anything up in the air about GriffCon. Like, part of the reason why people give to the Kickstarter is the implied,
if you don't, it won't happen.
yeah, like that. It's almost like, I mean, I don't want to say threat because we're not withholding anything, but
it's a reality.
the reality is if the Kickstarter is not successful, then we won't have GriffCon. We won't have a booth. We won't do anything like this. But if we can get this sorted through other areas, then aside from a Kickstarter, then we won't have that kind of uncertainty.
And something we might be able to do, because I see Brendan in here being very sad because I know he really wants a jersey. We might be able to do a pre-sale. So maybe the stuff that we would take to RTX that we already have, or maybe do like a small run of something. So that way people could, if they wanted to pre-order something, or they know they're not going to be able to make it to RTX, but they want the stuff, we'd be able to give that to them, probably even at a better price. Because you figured when you donate to the Kickstarter, the money not only has to go toward, like, half of what you're paying goes towards the actual merch, the other half has to go towards the booth. So, for example, you know, the jersey package is what, $250? It doesn't cost $250 to...
The jersey does not cost $250. No.
So we might be able to do like a smaller run and things like that, more at cost, because we don't need to make a profit on it, as opposed to right now the Kickstarter, that without that profit, we could pay for the swag, but we couldn't pay for the booth. So that might be a way around it if people are concerned about getting, because again, it really is, the Kickstarter and RTX are really the only time that you get the chance to buy this stuff. Although with the stock we have, we might be able to put the store back up, at least for a little while. We do
have some T-shirts. We have posters. We have, I don't know if we have enough shot glasses to actually sell online. We might have like 10 to a dozen sets of shot glasses left.
I would say just put them up. Supplies are limited.
Yeah.
So if people want them.
Never know.
Yeah, because we ordered, what, 300 shot glasses?
100 of each color.
Yep. So not bad. So yeah, maybe that's something we can do too, is just put it up there and you can buy it individually. So
kind of like a store, but the shipment of jerseys isn't going to come into like a limited run. If you want a jersey, they cost like $79.99 or whatever for the jersey.
Well, that's next year. I'm talking about this year with the stuff that we have from this year.
Yeah. I was talking about what
we're
doing
totally
next
separate
year.
Things.
Yeah. So it would be if there is demand for some of these RTX products that we would not normally do outside of a Kickstarter, we can find a way to make that happen for next year. And one other thing too is that for the Kickstarter, to try to make it worth it for people to give their money, we throw a lot of stuff. Like the $117 level this year was by far the most stuff we've ever given away in a Kickstarter. I mean, I'm just like all the stretch goals we hit about we're throwing in shot glasses and the water bottle and both decks of cards.
The bumper stickers.
And the bumper stickers, the posters and the T-shirts and the box art. And there's just, and I mentioned like the stickers, buttons, wristbands, and lanyard. Like, there's a lot of stuff in that bag. Like, I was trying to add up, like, if you went to the booth and bought all this stuff, what would it cost? Mm-hmm. And it's, like, close to $90.
Yeah.
$90 to $100.
That was the $117?
Yeah, $117 level.
Throw in shipping, and it's pretty much par for par.
Shot glasses are $15. The posters, $10. The T-shirts, $20. The deck of cards is another $10.
And then all the stuff that we didn't even sell, like the stickers and the...
And not to mention things like the water bottle or the Cards Against Griff cards, which
didn't have
we didn't sell, period, but would, if we were able to sell, would have a cost associated with that.
The water bottle would easily be $20. That's probably...
Yeah.
It's silly. It sounds the water bottle is probably the most expensive thing that we had.
Yeah.
And we gave it away.
Yes.
Because we're...
crazy.
I was going to try to avoid that word.
Sorry.
Thank you, dear.
We're generous. Yeah. So just adding up like everything in the $117 bag is close to $100.
Yeah.
Just by itself. Not to mention, shipping and all the free stuff and all that. So what we can do if we don't have a Kickstarter is cut back on the amount of variety of items that we have at RTX.
We can focus on quality rather than quantity.
Yeah. So instead of buying like 100 shot glasses plus 50 water bottles, maybe we can do like 150 shot glasses or 200 water bottles instead. Cut one thing and just boost up the numbers and quality of another. Because part of the reason we do such a wide variety of stuff for RTX is to entice people to give to the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
You donate and you get all of this stuff.
Get a little bit more and here's something else that we can entice you with. So.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have to do that if we don't have a Kickstarter. We could just more narrowly focus on higher quality and more quantity of very specific goods.
Yes. Yep. I would like to see that. One, the Kickstarter is, I mean, it's always going to be a lot of work, but I mean, the Kickstarter runs for a month, but the 2-3 months leading up to it is planning and figuring out stretch goals and figuring out cost, and it's a really involved process. And then, of course, after the Kickstarter, there's another 2 or 3 months of ordering and getting stuff shipped, and it would make my life happier if we didn't have to do that, especially because we'll have like a little Kalcheka running around at that point. And
it's true.
You know,
when it was Monday or Tuesday or whenever it was, when we were stuffing the swag bags into the envelopes to ship them, I was like, if we don't have a Kickstarter, this is one less thing we'll have to do.
We won't have to do that ever again.
Or like stuffing the swag bags before RTX, like that takes about 2 hours of assembly line work.
Yeah.
To like stuff all the swag bags, make sure everybody gets the exact swag that they ordered.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, a couple fewer things to worry about while we're at RTX.
We don't have to draw the death glare from the United States Postal Service when we walk in with boxes and boxes
like,
and boxes.
Here's
of packages.
40 packages we need to ship.
And 10 of them are going international. So here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So a goal for next year would be to do no Kickstarter and find support to fund the booth. As cool a booth as we're able to have this year through other avenues.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. So we'll see. That's something for us to work towards for the rest of this year.
It might happen. It might not. But RTX 2017... I mean, I already have plans for family cosplay, so...
Oh, yeah. Do you want to let them in on that?
Yeah, so by that point, little Kalcheka will be about 10 or 11 months. Allie said she would crochet a little Master Chief, like, onesie, and then I'll dress up as Dr. Halsey.
Yeah.
And carry little Master Chief around with me. I'm looking forward to that.
That would be pretty cool.
So, Six wants to know, why don't you run the store with a small profit all year round so that you can have the money to start off with? Well... That's because we need to have the amount of stuff in a store to actually support a store.
Yeah, like inventory.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. So, for example, like Cal said, we maybe have 10 sets of shot glasses yet. And we're not necessarily going to go out and buy more because what would you say, like 90% of the profit that we make at RTX goes back into the site.
Yes, like some of the money we make from a large portion of the money we make from RTX pays for like server costs, keep it registering the domains, stuff like that to just keep GrifballHub open all year round.
Mm-hmm.
So RTX is like this infusion of cash into GrifballHub that covers expenses year round.
Right.
So the money we make from RTX cannot necessarily be reinvested into just buying more inventory to sell in the store. Although that might be, if we had the money available, like if GrifballHub had a few extra $1,000 that we weren't otherwise using to keep the site open, then maybe we could invest in some inventory and keep the store running. But we have some stuff right now, so we can perhaps build a store, sell that, and see how it goes.
And we could do, the term that comes to mind is like garage sale. Like have a GrifballHub pop-up garage sale where we open a store for a week.
Yeah.
And if you want something, you have a week to get whatever you want, and then that might be something we can do later this year. Because again, we have a lot of stuff, and for example, the shot glasses, we're not going to ship them back next RTX. We have 10 sets, so which is still, that's a decent amount of stuff.
Yeah.
But we're not going to order more back and forth and just
Yeah. So we'll probably open a store and sell our excess RTX inventory, and then we'll have to reassess what we have available, where's good sellers, what we can reinvest in and buy more of.
We should just stop everything and just buy the Pro Tees, because we sell out of those so fast. Oh my gosh.
We order more Pro Tees than anything else too, and yet the Pro Tees still sell out. Like it seems like they sell out faster and faster every year.
Yep. All right, well, I think that's gonna be it here for the Grifball Hubcast. Thanks for everybody for tuning in live, and of course everybody who helped us out with the Kickstarter to make RTX happen. If you were at RTX, you came by, said hi, played some Grifball, won some swag, bought some swag. Thank you guys so much for making it such a successful. Any plans for vinyl decals? We have looked into them. They are a pricier item than one might think, especially considering when you, like, for example, the stickers are a penny each.
I remember back in the day.
Oh, goodness.
Rooster Teeth sold like laptop covers.
Yes.
And those were like vinyl decals, right?
Yes.
That kind of thing. And one of them is a Grifball one.
They did back in the day.
It was like you could order like a 13-inch or a 15-inch laptop cover that had the AGLA logo on it.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But it is, I mean, there's been some, like...
They were like $20, $25.
Yeah. So even a smaller one for your car we've looked into, but they would be something that would take an investment. That we maybe with the cash flow next year with sponsors we might be able to make that happen.
The bumper stickers were surprisingly cheap.
Yeah, the bumper stickers were cheap, but not a lot of people were interested. So
no,
live and learn.
Stuff for us to give away for free.
Yep. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode of the Grifball Hubcast. Thank you all for tuning in. We will catch you next week. Are we ever getting off this Sunday morning thing?
We should. We say that every week.
I would like to get off the Sunday morning train at some point. But we'll figure that out later. And yeah, say goodbye, Kal.
Bye, Kal.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Grifball Hubcast. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @GrifballHub for all the latest in Grifball news and entertainment.